Hello, my booklet arrived that I ordered in the mail, and I was sadly disappointed. The church is a very organized entity. If you've ever been to one of our temple open houses, you know if we are organized to the nth degree. But somehow this thing has been reprinted over the years. The last date in it is 1978 that I see in the front. And the parts that are not redundant or oversimplistic are outdated. But I'm going to go over this really quickly, just in case there was something in it you were interested in. The beginning, a couple of pages. You can see this. No. Shows a picture of the welfare wheel, and your vehicle is supposed to run smoothly if you put focus on these 6 areas. I think it's 6. Literacy and education, career development, financial and resource management, home production and storage, which is where food storage comes in, physical health, social, emotional, and spiritual health. It's just a real basic explanation. I'm going to go over this as quickly as I can. 2 pages on gardening, which are very, very simplistic. It has a little chart for gardening. It's very, very simple. I don't garden that way. I plant things close together so you get more out of your ground. Little tiny paragraphs on what, where, and how to plant, but very short, a couple of sentences in each one. A tiny bit on mulch, compost, and seeds, very, very little. A couple of mentions of smoking and curing, drying, live plants and animals, but I'm just telling you the paragraphs are this long. They're very short. Salting, sugar preserving, canning or bottling, fermenting and pickling, cold storage and freezing. Very, very short. Paragraphs are about this long. Quilt making, clothing production, soap making, fuel production. It does tell how to make a newspaper log. These are just very simple 1 or 2 sentences underneath each heading. Newspaper logs, basically it says to divide the newspapers into sections, fold the sections to the size of a half of a page. Soak the folded sections in a tub of water to which a tablespoon of detergent has been added. While they're still wet, roll the sections individually on a rod 1 inch in diameter, squeeze out the water, slide the rolls off, and let them stand on end to dry. The rolls are ready to use as fuel when completely dry. Tells how to make a buddy burner. A little bit about charcoal briquettes, fire starters, very little. Furniture making, 1 sentence. Some quotes from our church leaders. A definition of the categories of storage, a tiny list of first aid supplies, a little bit about clothing. Very basic suggestions for storage. A summary page about all that we just went over, which is almost non-existent. And then there's a section on recipes, which most of them sound like you would pretty much gag. There's a recipe for wheat treats, which is basically you soak wheat in cold water for 24 hours, remove excess moisture, deep fry it in fat, and then put seasoning salt on it. So if you want to soak your wheat and fry it, there's your instructions. Honey wheat, I don't even know what this is. A tablespoon of water, a cup of honey. Oh, I see. You boil the water and the honey till you hit the hard crack stage, and then you pour it over your wheat treats, which was that wheat you just deep fried. Yeah. I'm sorry. A recipe for yogurt, which is very short. Tells you how to make sweetened condensed milk, which is basically putting your dry milk with water and sugar. I can skip right over that one. If anybody's interested, let me know. Tells how to use unflavored gelatin as a egg substitute. Rice puddings. Tells how to make a sourdough starter and everlasting yeast. Very short descriptions. A recipe for graham crackers. A recipe for whole wheat bread. I know how to make whole wheat bread fail every which way you can, so if you need information on that, check with me. I'm sorry, I'm being a little sarcastic today, as you can see. The one thing that I thought was of value in this book, and I'm going to just give you this real quick, if you want to get out a pen and paper, you can. And it's a recipe for making wheat crackers, like the wheat thins you buy in the store. I can buy a good sized box of those for $1.35. So it's going to be a long time till I've done this before. I've made the wheat thin crackers, but I'm going to have to be in some dire straits to be making wheat crackers. However, if you want to try it out, I will give you the way. I'll tell you how to doctor this up. The recipe calls for a cup and, I can't even see this, cup and 3/4 of whole wheat flour, a cup and a half of white flour, 1/3 cup oil, which is emulsified in a blender with 3/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 cup water. Then you mix the dry ingredients, add the oil, salt, and water mixture, knead as little as possible, make a smooth dough, roll as thin as possible on an unoiled cookie sheet, not more than 1/8 of an inch thick. Then you score the crackers, you mark them with a knife to the size. You press the knife partway through the dough, but not all the way through the dough. Prick each cracker a few times with a fork. Sprinkle the dough lightly with salt or onion salt as desired. Bake at 350. I would do it a little bit cooler than that, maybe 325, until crisp and light brown, 30 to 35 minutes. I don't think it's going to take you any 30 to 35 minutes, and they do start to get more done on the outside before you get to the inside. If you want to do this just for the experience, I would make more than one batch, because if you're going to go through the process, you may as well get more crackers out of it. Make some pretty good crackers, but if you want to make them taste like the store crackers, then go through all those steps. And then when you salt you can use onion salt if you want. I just use plain salt, and I put an equal amount of sugar in with the salt, and then they taste more like the store crackers. I would put a little bit of sugar in with the water when you emulsify the water and the oil together in the blender. So you just put the oil and the water and the salt and possibly sugar in the blender together, and just kind of go zit, zit, zit. Just hit it a few times until it looks like it's mixed up, and then quickly pour it in with the dry ingredients. There's no soda or anything like that in it. So what was I going to say about that? That was about the only thing that I remembered that had much value to me. I kind of felt it was a waste of my $1.50 for this book. It tells how to make French dressing, a little bit of information about sprouting. French dressing looks like a pain. Macaroni salad, I think we all know how to do that. Tuna noodle casserole, tortillas, browned rice, chili beans, soy patties. It all sounds disgusting. Soy meat, peanut butter cookies, I think we all know how to do that. Then it has 2 pages of what look like completely outdated sources where you can get more information. But since we have the internet now, which we didn't have in 1978, that's kind of outdated. And I got 132 videos you can look at, or whatever there is too. And then inventory methods in the back, completely outdated. It just has 3x5 cards. It has 3x5 cards in a, can't get it up there, in a box. That's really inventive. And then it has several pages with blank lines for you to fill in your quantity and keep a running tab. So this may have been another waste of your time. I try really hard not to waste your time. Oh, and then there's an index in the back too. Index. Index. So sad to say, this thing should have been rewritten decades ago. In my estimation, it's worth very little. I can't understand why they're still printing it. Needs to be redone really badly. So I apologize if any of you ordered it. You can certainly find a lot more on the internet. I'm trying to think if there was anything else in here. That was pretty much it. It's, I don't even think it has page numbers. Yeah, it does. Including all the indexes, it is about 29 pages long, start to finish. So I will keep it just in case I ever want to make wheat crackers. That's the end of this video. Sad video. Thanks. Bye.